In this video we're going to discuss how you can work with dates and times in Java programming language. Well, if you want to display the current date, for example, there is a later package that was added to Java, and it includes local date. So to use local date, I recommend that there's a very useful function inside NetBeans. If you position your cursor on a specific identifier, like this name of the class that I'm trying to use, and of course you would expect that I need some imports to be placed at the top of our file. So you can just press Alt Enter as suggested here in this tooltip. Basically you would use Alt plus Enter in NetBeans, and if I press this combination Alt Enter, see how it gives me this quick tip that you might want to import Java time local date, which I just did. So now let's just say this will be my local date, and I can create the object local date by saying local date, and there is a static method now. Okay, so method now will return the object initialized with the current date, and it's actually ready to be displayed. We can try system.out print line, and we can print our local date. Okay, so this will display the date. I run it, and you can see that this displays it in this year, month, and date format. So that's the way this specific object works. We can also sort of like copy and paste this and duplicate it and change it to local time. Okay, so we'll try the time, and it works exactly the same way. So we can get our local time right here and display it. And same way you can Alt Enter and say that you want to import local time in this import statement. So we can run this now. We can save this and run this now. You can see that the actual default format of displaying the time includes the output of hours and minutes and seconds, and also includes the milliseconds after the period in this default version of format. Interestingly enough, you can also duplicate this and combine both date and time. And I'll just do my changes as quickly as I can. And we will try this. Of course, we also press Alt Enter and import local date time like this, and if I run this version of the program, you see that it combines both of these and includes the t as the delimiter in this output format, so that you can essentially parse the two parts from this string. But this string is very similar to what the two of these combined together would produce. And finally, there is one more very useful class in Java time package, which is date time formatter. So we can use a very simple tool, this date time formatter. We'll call it formatter, and we'll say datetime formatter, and the method that we're going to use is offPattern. And so this offPattern requires to provide a pattern. So let's just use an empty blank string right now. And first let's fix actually it already inserted the import statement for me. This is fine. And so we can include formats such as DD, MM, and YY. So we can extract basically the day, month, and year out of the existing local datetime object. So now what we need to do is that the next step is to create a string which will accommodate I'll call it output date, right? And I'll say formatter will be used as a parameter to this local datetime, and we'll call format, and format expects the formatter to be applied with already specified pattern. So these are just small little steps towards the goal, and now we can try to print the resulting string and just to verify that it works as we would expect. So here, this is now the format that I'm expecting from this local datetime obtained by the now method. I'll run this, and you can see that this worked very nicely. So of course this is very consistent and very useful. So if you'd like to use forward slashes, you can do this if you want. You obviously see the changes. There are similar parameters that you can use for hours and minutes. For instance, if I want hours and minutes like this, I can just run that, and you see that it adds the current time in the specified format. So I would suggest that you do your own research on this package, and it's very simple and straightforward way to deal with this. But that's how you can utilize. I think this is the most direct and simple way to deal with current time and try to display the current time on your screen.